So this is a continuation of a series of videos documenting the construction of my timber frame shed. In the previous video, I milled, installed, and finished a solid wood tongue and groove floor deck. Seasons are changing, and in this video, I'm racing to get the woodshed filled and the garden shed closed in before winter hits. Like the sauna, I'm using board and batten siding for the garden shed. The first wall to go up is the one dividing the garden shed from the woodshed. That's because my first priority is to get the woodshed closed in so that we can move our firewood in under the shed roof to keep it dry for winter. This strip of wood is screwed to the roof decking in order to provide an attachment for the siding boards where they meet the roof. For siding, I used the same poplar lumber that I've used throughout this project. Each board is first cut to size in the wood shop. I left the rough surface, but I used an abrasive brush on a polisher to clean away any dirt on the board and remove the worst of the splinters. I then finished each board as I prepared them using the same finish I used on my sauna project, which was a mix of 2 parts linseed oil to 1 part D-limonene. Then it's out to the shed for installation.
Sound right, boys.
Swam across the poncho, took a train to cattle. Opened up my guitar case and all the songs were blue. Haunted all the alleys, Lord, I drifted down the valley. On and on, just trying to find my way.
And that's about as far as I got to before we got into Christmas vacation season. And by the time we got home, winter had really hit. So the weather's turned cold on me, but it's about time I got trimming out this shed. I sized this rough opening so that I can use an old storm window from the house as the window here, and I've got to do all the framing for the window. I can do most of that in the shop, which is good because it's very cold out here. Yeah, I want a fairly wide trim board here. It's too bad I didn't get this board right up to the edge here, but you know, it's a matter of using the board you had, and I had these big wide boards, and that's where it ended, so we'll sort it out with trim. First the window, and then the door, and all the trim has to happen there as well. For the window trim, I used the jointer, planer, and table saw to create dimensioned poplar boards. So I'm going to reuse this old storm window for the shed. I don't need the window to open or anything. It's got two big doors in the shed, so I'm just going to create a simple frame around this old window. But before I do that, I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at this old thing. You know, the temptation with these old storm windows is to throw them out. They're old and broken in places, but look at how these things are made. You get a full lap joint with coped at the edge. They got a through tenon from those muttons, and they're even pegged, actually. There's a peg and a through tenon holding those muttons in place. I mean, these things were built to last, so it's nice that I'm able to reuse them. So I've prepped all the material I'm going to use to trim these windows out. I've got some simple 3/4 inch by 4.5 inch boards that I'm going to make the window casing out of. Just simple butt joints, I think, screwed together. And then the trim, I've got 1.25 inch thick material. Now the reason I'm using 1.25 inch thick material is I want to have enough thickness to hide the battens that'll go outside the board and batten siding up against the trim and have a bit of an overhang. You may have missed it in that quick time lapse, but the butt joints for the window trim face frame are reinforced using biscuits. That's about where we are in the project right now. Next to come are making and trimming out the doors, finishing the electrical, and building a set of stairs. I hope you'll tune in and watch those. In the meantime, thanks for watching.